Hi there, it's William Oliver, and I'm the author of the book Law of Focus for Golfers, The Science of Lowering Your Handicap, as well as the creator of the Law of Focus training program. And so what I have here today is I've got the book that I remembered to bring to the driving range with me, as well as I have the training manual. And inside the manual I have the Law of Focus focus chipping routine, and that's the routine that I'm going to go through. And so I brought the manual with me so that I can look at the routine in case I forget anything. Okay, because it's a pretty long routine, so we want to make sure that we always have the manual with us at the driving range. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a number of different steps for this focus chipping routine, so that you know exactly what to do next time that you go to the driving range. Now, the focus chipping routine, the whole idea behind it is that, a lot of people come to me as I'm working with them throughout the year. I've worked with a number of different professional golfers, number of amateur golfers, number of high handicap golfers, and they all seem to have a challenge with chipping in one way or another. And inevitably what we always have to look at is their focus chipping routine, their pre-chip routine, to see exactly what it is that they're doing. Because what you find, if you've chipped enough, okay, you would know that if you start missing a couple of chips, or you yip a couple, or maybe skull a couple, those thoughts are going to get imprinted in your mind, and then your inner game is going to be pretty thrown off next time you go to the driving range. So the whole concept, or the whole reason why I created this focus chipping routine is to increase the likelihood that you will hit the chip that you want, okay? That's the whole focus of this routine. You're not always going to hit the chip that you want, but you can always go through the routine exactly the way that I show it to you. And this routine is based off a lot of research and a lot of testing. So I know it's really proven, and it will help you. Guaranteed, if you go through it the way that I show it to you, it will help you improve your chipping, okay? So let's talk about the first thing that we want to do as we're going through the pre-chip routine. And this is step number one, is that we want to analyze the chip that we're going to hit, okay? Now what we have to do for chipping when we're analyzing it, I guess to start off with, what I see with a lot of high handicap golfers is that they actually will just step up to the ball, they'll put their bags down, and then they'll go through and they'll just chip the shot without ever going up and checking the hole or what the chip is all about. So the first part of analyzing the chip is that we want to walk up to the hole, okay? If you're more than about 20, 25 yards away, maybe you won't be comfortable walking up to see the hole. But if you're inside 25 yards, definitely take a walk. So I'm going to get the camera to follow me here, and I'm going to walk up and I'm going to check to see what I'm actually chipping to. You can see how firm the green is, see if there's any dry patches. We can also see exactly where we want to land the ball. So that's what we're going to pick. We're going to pick a landing spot somewhere on the green, because we're going to actually read the green and see which way the ball is going to roll. So what I can tell by coming up and analyzing the shot is that if I land it here, it's going to roll perfectly into the hole because it's breaking about a foot left. So that's what my target is going to be here, okay? So after I've gone through and I've analyzed it, I'll come back to my shot, and the analysis of the shot continues. The next part is I'm going to pick how high am I going to have to hit it in order for the ball to land where I pick and run into the hole. And so what I decide here is I got to hit it about 4 to 5 feet up in the air. So that's going to be the perfect height. And I can tell, by walking up, you know what it does? It gives a lot of information to my brain, my mind, so that my subconscious mind knows how to hit the shot that I want. And what that really does is that's going to make you a lot more comfortable and committed to hitting the shot. Because as you'll see in a moment, I'd say the number one failure that a lot of golfers have when they're chipping is that they chip when they're uncomfortable and they're not committed to the shot. They're not focused at all. They're focused on everything that they don't want to have happen instead of what they do want to have happen. And you've probably heard me say this before if you've watched any of the other training videos. You can either focus on positive things or negative things, okay? When you're chipping. In each chip, you have the possibility of imprinting positive thoughts and images into your mind, or negative ones, okay? So you got to make sure to be very focused while you're chipping and go through these routines exactly the way that I'm showing them to you. So that's with step number one, analyzing it. Well, step number two is really a breathing technique. okay? And what we want to do is we want to actually hold our hands on our grip. And what you find is that the number one thing that golfers do when they're chipping is that they're uncommitted and not trusting in the chip that they want to hit. And what that results in is that they get a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, or a little bit fearful. And what that does is it gets us to tighten up on our grip. And the moment that we tighten up on our grip, a couple things happen when we're chipping, okay? And those things is that when we're tight on our grip, you find that when you bring the club back, then you decelerate on the way down and you find that your shoulder will drop. And so what you get is a little bit of a chunk chip, okay? Or one of those chips where your club hits down and then bounces up and you skull the ball. All of that is a result of having our hands are very tight on the grip. And what that is a result of is that we're not trusting and committed to the shot.